don't know. I don't know. That's the craziest thing ever. And if I put it on this metal tray, for whatever reason today, it doesn't like it. When it's on the metal tray, it doesn't work. Oh, Lord Almighty. So, okay. Oh, and here, let me take this off. Otherwise, it's going to be clicking and clacking away for you guys. So, this is you. I got my fan going because this computer heats up pretty good now. No, it's doing good. Okay, so this is you. So, this is your I am, right? Your soul, your spirit, your higher self. And this is the, I guess you would say, the picture maybe that came from the whole beauty from the ashes and all that kind of stuff was, this is you, this is me, this is us. And it's almost like there were these tall, can't draw worth a darn, but you know that. It's like these tall buildings, right, around us. When I was in, I don't teach in that hotel anymore because they converted it to condos, the Dirty Dogs, because I really liked it. So it was a hotel in downtown Winnipeg that I would teach in, and it was basically like an apartment. So the rooms were like, they were big apartments is what they were. Really enjoyed it. It was, I don't know, 4 blocks away from the Forks. If you've ever been to Winnipeg, you know what I mean when I say the Forks, beautiful spot down by the river. And there was another building right across the street from it, and it wasn't as tall as the hotel that I was in, but it's a really neat example of what we're talking about right here, where well, we're going to have to fix this here a little bit. So we're going to go up. So this was higher. There we go. So this is higher than this one. Here we go. And so depending on what floor I had my room on, if I was on the second floor and I look out, I see the other building like across the street. But if I could get high enough up, now I could look over the building. And oh yeah, now we're flowing. Okay, this makes sense. So what would happen often is, God, I need more coffee. What would happen often is when you're in here, I mean, this is all you can see is that building that's a block like across the street. Now, does that mean that this was not there? Of course it was there. It was there all the time. It's just I couldn't see it because this was my perspective. So I was on the second floor looking out, and all I could see was the other building. So then what happens is we grow, and I'm just going to turn this down a little bit more. It looks kind of hot. As we grow, we expand, we evolve, and all that cool stuff. What happens is we're moving up. And so our perspective changes. Now, this doesn't change. This is always there. And in a way, this building didn't change. That was always there. But as our vibration rose, or our set point rose, and all of a sudden we could see what was on the other side of the building. Now, the building was still there. We were still aware that the building was there. It's just we could see over it. Okay? But this is what's happened in the last, I don't know, probably the last year. Is I'm going to erase some stuff. Oops. I think my computer is getting hot because it's slowing down. Let me just do this so I can get more air to it. There we go. And so what has happened is in this, again, well over a year now, like I like to think of it as like grinding of millstones, and just grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. You see these buildings that were belief systems, that were external structures, that were all these outside organizations. And you've heard me say this often, but I've always said that you used to be able to be born, live, and die without ever having to think, because you had these buildings that determined how far you could see. And so what we did was we decided that our life experience, our future, our growth was limited by as far as we can see, which makes a lot of sense. Because if you're on this level, all you can see is that building. So it would make sense that, I mean, you forget really that there's anything even on the other side of it. So you just kind of go about your daily life, determining, deciding, desiring what fits inside this very limited sphere of possibilities. Now, yes, as you grow, as you expand, as you evolve, you go up, and then you can see more. But that's a bit of a process, which is fine, but it's a bit of a process. But what we're seeing happening is so many of these structures now are actually falling apart. I mean, globally, a lot of the absolutes, a lot of the truths, a lot of those belief systems, a lot of those external organizations and systems and all that kind of stuff are really collapsing under their own weight. And so now what happens is these things are now gone. Or at the very least, they're sitting kind of in shambles all down here. And so even though it's really easy to look around and see confusion and just all this mess around us, if we choose, we can now see a lot further than maybe we've been able to for a long, long time. Maybe, that's almost a rhetorical, maybe for the first time, maybe our lifetime, without, and it's not like we're not still growing, expanding, and evolving, but it's almost like there's a loophole right now that we can jump. What would take, so it takes, you go 10 floors up and then you can see further. Well, now all the obstructions have disappeared, so we don't have to get up and up and up, so we can see. Now it's like the buildings are destroyed or they're in shambles. So all of a sudden you can go, oh man, all of a sudden I can see over here and I can see over here and I can see over here. And it's like just bang, all of a sudden, all these potentials are appearing. And to me, it makes sense that that's going to throw a person out of whack a little bit, because all of a sudden there's all these horizons. Have you ever done this? I've had this experience before, where you're driving, you're looking for a place, or maybe the terrain is changing, and you pop up over a hill, and as you look over the horizon, it's like a whole different world. Often, for those of you in Alberta, where our home base is, driving into the mountains west of Calgary, you kind of drive, and then there's spots where you kind of drive up, and you turn around a foothill, I'll call it, and all of a sudden it's like there they are. And it almost takes your breath away. And it just seems like it was this terrain, and then you turn a corner, and then it's this. And so in many respects, that's what we feel is happening right now, is that all of a sudden, yeah, I think my computer's eating up. All of a sudden you can see so much further. And I think, see, that's a really neat thing about this, is it's really easy to look down and to see the mess. But I think, like I said, maybe for the first time in a long, long while, you can look out and see a lot further than you maybe ever have before. Which means there are so many more possibilities now. There are so many more desires that you didn't even contemplate desiring, because you couldn't see past that building right across the street. But those buildings have collapsed now. And so now all of a sudden you can see. So now it's up to you. Now it's up to you as to what are you going to choose now?